Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. My name is Travis. Today we're going to be doing a 2-in-1 just for the sake of making a little bit longer video because you guys have been asking for that. And yeah, so the first part of this video is going to be a update on everything that's here in the fish room regarding the tanks, including the freshwater that I set up a little while ago. So we're going to look at all the tanks individually, tell you some things about them, what I like, dislike, and all that good stuff. Now, just a heads up, there is definitely a delay between when things happen, like the STN over here, and when you guys finally see the content. So it's been a few days, and we're going to talk about and give you guys an update on the STN with this Poseidon tort that is doing quite well, and thankfully so. And yeah, we're going to talk about everything, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. Now, for the second part of the video is pretty much a request for those of you who are trying to make some extra money and want to sell coral. So we're going to go through my entire setup here for the business. I'll make sure I take the filters off so you guys can get a better look. We'll talk about the 3D printing. We'll talk about getting orders, getting them ready, packing, all that kind of stuff, and just show you the ins and outs. So if you're trying to make some extra money during these tough times, kind of give you either some motivation or some things to think about so you can be successful. So first things first, I had some coffee. I'm not really good with stimulants, and I just had a bunch of coffee, so this should be interesting. It's been about 45 minutes. That shit's starting to kick in. But anyway, 300 gallon, doing pretty good, thankfully. Very empty. As you guys know, I did a complete overhaul on this over the last month or so, removing, I don't know what the percentage of coral is, but a ton of coral's been removed, and all these little frags are in its place. Got a little bit of higher end stuff, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that once it finally grows out. And overall, I am happy with the system. The fish seem much happier with the extra swim room. The aggression isn't as bad, and of course, Big Bertha here is not breaking off a ton of coral like she usually does, so happy about that. So overall, I am happy with the system. Not so much with the way it looks right now, but I always like to think ahead. What is it going to look like in 6 months? And that's what I'm trying to focus on. So try to avoid some of the, the negative sides of running a tank like this and having all this coral and kind of what happens along that process. And yeah, so over here, back to a few days ago, or this happened, and you guys saw videos over the last 2 days regarding the Poseidon tort that I removed with the STN. So we determined that it was pretty much just aggression that was causing it, and I was forced to remove the entire colony. Now, I did bring that over here, and I mentioned that I put a bunch of super glue trying that out and see if it stops the STN on the bottom of this colony, and so far, been good. I lost about 50% of the frags from the original chunk that I removed. Let me see if I can get an angle here. See all these empty spots. I did remove quite a bit. Now, I did mention yesterday that it seemed like the corals next to them were dying, but what I didn't really take into consideration is I changed these racks out the other day, and I had these corals sitting out for a little longer than usual. So the tips of a lot of these bird's nests, I'd say maybe 50% of them are kind of bleached out, so I'm going to go in there and snip those today and let them continue to grow. But I don't think the STN really went over to other frags other than the fact that it was like their own frags. So if one STN, usually the one next to it did. So I did do a little bit of research last night, had some articles sent to me from you guys, which I do appreciate, and I like looking that stuff up. It does look like STN and RTN, which is slow tissue necrosis and rapid tissue necrosis, is kind of like a bacteria. It does, and I did talk to some local buddies that are really big on acropores. They said that if it happens to a colony, you either got to stop it with putty, remove the colony, because there is a good chance and likelihood that it will spread to other colonies through that whole transmission of kind of like the brown jelly that you guys have in the LPS, how it does kind of flow into other LPS. Kind of the same thing for the SPS and STN and RTN. So removing this, I think, was good for saving the rest of this rock structure because it was getting pretty bad, and hopefully it recovers. This Barney coral is really chopped up, but I had really no choice on that, so hopefully that'll recover. Once everything kind of darkens over like it did here when I removed this colony and we got, it's kind of turning back into rock and looking normal. Once it does that, I will replace it and probably put some Poseidon tort back in its place in this little hole that we have here, and hopefully it'll grow up and be beautiful once again. So we'll see. It's going to take time. We'll see kind of how the tank progress. It's just a waiting game at this point, and I'm okay with it. That's just part of the whole situation and process. But right now, good news, this colony, the bigger one, is not STNing anymore. It seems to be pretty good. No frags. I woke up this morning, none of these frags were dead, which is always good. This little piece that I also super glued at the bottom is not STNing, so I'm happy about that. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say. It sucks, and STN and RTN are a big part of this hobby when it comes to SPS, and anybody who's had it, like I mentioned in my first video, you're going to deal with it, and it sucks. It really, really sucks. I don't know how long that colony was growing for, but it's a shame. It's more painful watching it die because I feel like I did something wrong. Like, what the heck did I do? Now this wild animal, this creature I'm trying to keep alive, is dying for something that I feel like I did. But sometimes it's just not something that you did. It's just nature doing its own thing and corals fighting, and yeah. So it sucks, but I'm happy and thankful that it's doing okay. Now that can change at any moment. It can start STNing, as soon as I get off the recording here, and if it does, I did what I could. That's about all I can say about that. So, oh, the phone's ringing over there, or beeping. But other than that, the tank is doing pretty good. I really want it to grow and kind of fill in, but it's going to take time. And yeah, I've learned a lot. That's all I got to say. I learned a lot about this setup and the way corals were, way they're placed. And I mentioned that in yesterday's video. Learned a lot, and I'm still thankful that I have it, regardless of how it looks at the moment. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So let's go move over to the 40 gallon, which is my main cutting tank. And I mentioned that before. I cut a lot of my cut to order frags come out of this tank, and it's packed. It grows really, really quickly. I got 2 tangs in there, a yellow tang and a Scopus tang. I got a 6-line wrasse, a lawnmower blenny, a couple damsels, a couple chromuses. I got a whole bunch of stuff in here, and yeah, they seem to be pretty happy. This tank does quite well. There are 4 AI primes, the older ones on here, HDs. And yeah, I mean, not really too much to say other than the fact that it grows really well, and it is all one system. For those of you who are wondering, everything saltwater in here is one system. So I guess I'm just doing updates on individual tanks at this point. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Again, it's one of my main cutting tanks. And it's probably never really going to grow to be anything crazy because, again, I'm in there cutting it every single week. So pretty good on that. Now moving over here, as you guys saw already, this is my healing / WYSIWYG. So I make these plugs with 3D printing. If you guys can see them, kind of, maybe. Yeah, so these are PETG plugs. The square base I make regular, and my gimbal just died in the middle of that, so that's fun. So anyway, I make these and I label them for my WYSIWYG letters and then numbers across, and then I just set up the corals based on my WYSIWYG with that. We can get into more detail once we move over to the business side of things, but this is where I take corals from either tank or either system, cut them, line them up, heal them, and then when they're ready, they'll either go up as WYSIWYG or they'll be shipped out as just part of my packs. And moving over to the other grow out tanks, or kind of, I guess, holding tanks. We have 2 low boys, just like the one you guys just saw. With the only difference is I don't have Kessels over these. I have 3 XR15s over each tank. No T5s or anything like that. The main display does, but not my grow outs. And the reason why I don't have T5s over these is I just don't feel like paying for it. That's about it. I'm pretty good with what I got so far. But this is, again, where I keep a lot of the frags that I've cut. They're healed, they're ready to go. They're just extra stuff, and that stuff gets shipped out with packs. Over here is my grow out. Officially my grow out system, and where I keep my cut to order frags. So I have acros on 3-inch disc. They're lined up all the way through, and let's see if you guys can see that. And basically they just grow, and when they get big and they start touching other corals or about to, I will cut them, and they'll either go up as WYSIWYG or some other situation to be sold. And this is just officially the grow out tank. Now I do plan for the new setup to have a couple 8-foot tanks that are just like this. That's all they are. And we'll see. It's going to take some time, of course, but that's my plan. I wanted to see how it would work out in a smaller setting, and it has been pretty successful. You just got to stay on top of it because corals will grow into each other relatively quickly, given they only have 3 inches of space here to grow. So, yeah, let's go ahead and I guess I can take the gel filter off, and we'll move over to the freshwater because it's going to look kind of weird, as you can see, with the filter. So let's get the filter off. We'll look at the freshwater and talk about the business. Okay, so here we are at the 32-gallon BioCube freshwater tank, relatively new. It's been about, I don't know, 3 weeks or so, and it's doing pretty good. You guys know that this used to be my coral quarantine tank for new frags, but since I'm pretty much maxed out on space, I'm not bringing in any more coral, and I got what I already need for the 300, so we're good for now, and I turned it into a freshwater tank. It's doing quite well. I actually dosed a little bit of nitrates and phosphates the other day because I was getting a little bit of, I wouldn't say paleness, I guess, on the plants, but doing good. It's coming back. Everybody seems to be happy. I'm going to finish removing some of the livestock from the tank upstairs, which is basically just a smaller version of this, and I'm going to continue to fill it up with some fish and a little bit more plants. I do have one AI Prime HD, the planted version or freshwater version over this tank, and it's doing pretty good. 5-gallon ATO with the ATO Micro. I have to put some more mechanical filtration in there. And yeah, love the tank. I just like looking over and seeing a little bit of fresh water instead of salt water all the time. Anybody who has multiple or different types of tanks knows exactly what I'm talking about. So that's pretty much it for for tank updates. Let's go ahead and move over to the business side of things, and trying to figure out how I want to start this. So I guess we can look at the printers. Now, when an order comes in for 3D printing, I usually put it on this board here, and then if there's a printer open, I'll move it over and put it on a tack, and then just print everything for that specific order with that printer. That's including changing out filament, whatever. Each printer is exactly the same. Every single upgrade is through Octoprint. It's all good to go. I did a separate video on these, so you guys can check that out on the channel. But if an order comes in, it goes on the board. I got a bunch of new stuff in today because I just added the the Red Sea test kit holders, which have been pretty popular, and I just added a free Hannah checker holder, and it's doing pretty good. I got a couple versions of that I'm working on, and appreciate all the support on that. And speaking of 3D printing, I am aware that AI or Aqua Illumination is now giving away the or selling or giving away, I'm not sure exactly what they're doing, the pump covers for the Nero 5. That's awesome. Some people were like, aha, now you can't make any money on them. Guys, that wasn't the purpose or the point in the beginning. I didn't mind making the money on it, but I was more interested in saving your tank and saving your fish, since I lost a really beautiful fish in a 300 because that pump destroyed it. So I'm still getting sales on it. That's great. Appreciate the support. But if you want the one from them, by all means, go get it. But if you want to support the channel, I'm still going to be making them, and I'm not too worried about it. I'm not here for competition. I don't really care about that stuff. I enjoy 3D printing. I enjoy adding stuff to the hobby, and I enjoy paying my bills. And if you want to be part of that, you can. If you don't, then it's okay. I'm not worried about it. So let's go ahead and move on to the rest of the parts. So orders come in here. This is my, my work station. Dual printers. I can keep an eye on the printers up, or dual monitors, and keep an eye on the printers up there. Of course, work, my my media. I do my YouTube videos and stuff. I watch them on there while I'm kind of working and stuff. And then, of course, the computer, the drone building station. This is my new one. It's pretty sexy. Hopefully that will be up in the air today, but it rained earlier, so probably not. So orders will come in. There's a couple different type of orders that I get. I get cut to order, which is where I go through and I cut coral. It's going to be blue as shit. I do apologize. I cut particular frags that you guys want from either the grow out tanks, the main display, or the 40-gallon, or even the disc over here. If it's a cut to order frag, the order itself goes up here on the board, and then within 24 hours I will cut that order, and then it will come down here and sit on these racks, and then I'll number it, put a little marker there. This is just marker that comes off, it's no big deal. And then it will heal for 2 weeks, and then it will be shipped. I notify you guys of when I intend to ship it. It's usually 2 weeks. And speaking of that, the shipping is a little bit of a problem right now with the riots and coronavirus and all that crap. Shipping is a huge problem. I sent on a bunch of stuff on Monday, and people aren't getting it till Friday. But I've already messaged most of those guys and let them know, hey, if something's dead, I'll replace it on your next order. I usually don't do that. I usually don't cover shipping errors. Like if the shipping company decides to go, screw it, I'm not shipping this box, I'm not sending this box out, I usually don't cover that stuff. But it's not my fault, it's not your fault, and I don't mind replacing that stuff on a future order. So if you order something and you got a notification that it's shipped and you didn't get it so far, a lot of that, I don't know what happened. I didn't get any notification. It's never been a problem, but I guess with the riots and everything going on, everything's backed up and delayed. So I've held off all coral shipments for at least a week, if not 2 weeks. I'm going to monitor it and keep an eye on it and contact UPS to make sure everything's good. But normal stuff like supplements and 3D printing and all that kind of stuff, that's still going to go out via USPS 3-day, flat rate stuff. But coral stuff has to be held back for a little bit, just because I'm going to be losing a lot of money. I'm going to be losing a lot of money this week because of something I wasn't aware of. And, it's just part of the business and you can't really do anything about it. But anyway, so the cut to order stuff will come in. It will cut, it'll be healed, it'll be shipped out in 2 weeks. And then for everything else, it's pretty much, now that we're shipping every single day, or at least Monday through Thursday during the week, order comes in. If it's healed and something's good to go that day, I will ship it out. And that's just how it is. And depending on how many orders, I can only do so many a day. The max I can do for coral is about 15 to 20 orders per day. And I can't really do much more than that, just because it's, even with 2 of us down here, it's a ton of work. And I like to get everything done as close to 5 o'clock as I can, because I don't want stuff sitting in a box for 4 or 5 hours before it finally starts to ship. Sucks. So speaking of that, let me actually show you guys. I just picked up these cold packs. Pretty interested in these, and yes, there's no deer head in here, but I just picked these up. They're colder than ice, and they're a pretty good price. They got to be in here for another day or so. It has to be 72 hours before I can finally use them, but interested to see how those work. Hopefully they do well. Ooh, there we go, trash bin, and I'm swinging you guys around. But yeah, so shipping kind of sucks right now, but that's part of business. This is, if you want to sell coral and you want to do it full time, you have to understand there's a lot of risk, but the reward is very good. I mean, if things go well and you got coral coming in and you're not killing off your whole tank or your collection, you don't have pests, you don't have stuff like that, making money selling coral is relatively easy and pretty good. I enjoy doing it. I love my work, but when it's bad, it's usually pretty bad, especially with all the orders that went out on Monday. I mean, it's pretty bad. It's just, you know, when you wipe out whole colonies in your reef tank, it sucks. I mean, it really does suck. But again, that's just life. Can't really do much about it. Now, yeah, I guess I can show you guys this stuff. These are the new 3D printed items that I just made. I really enjoy creating this stuff. It doesn't take too long, but the test prints take a little while. These take about 12 hours to make. But this is version 1 of the multiple. It's calcium or alkalinity, and then I know I have copper here, but it's calcium and PO4. Now the second version that is now going out has these 2 slots here, so you can use a different syringe for your reagent. Now, I didn't think about that at first. I just had this set here, but I added 2 more. So that's what's actually going to be shipped now. I'm going to put some updated pictures on the website tomorrow. But yeah, so it's pretty good. And then we have Red Sea. You guys asked for these. Magnesium, alkalinity, calcium. And this was the hardest one to figure out. The knocking stuff over here. The NO3, because I needed to figure out this disc. But it works out pretty good. Well, it's tight, but that's what she said. Oh, damn it. But yeah, this slides in there. It's pretty good. It holds everything. And yeah, added the vial holder too for the Red Sea. You guys asked for this stuff, so this is what I'm working on. If you have any more suggestions, let me know. Just understand it takes me a little while to get in there, but now that the 3D printers are fixed and they're upgraded and they're working really well, I can get orders out faster, and then I have time to create new things for you guys. So I just really enjoy that. It's not so much about making money on it. I just really enjoy creating things. That's why I got into building drones. I mean, I got these 2 here. I think I enjoy building them more than flying them, and same thing with the 3D printing. It's just something I really like, so I'm just going to keep doing it. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the business. There's some things that I don't really talk about, like the NO3 and PO4, how to make that. I explained that, you know, it's part of the business. I'm not sharing that information with everybody. Same thing, I got my phyto growing system over here. I'm not sharing that stuff with you guys. There is certain things that I don't talk about, and that's just how it is. Now, did I talk about the packing bench? I didn't, but I got a minute left. So this is the packing bench. Orders that are cut to order and ready to go or healing will go up on the wall so I can see them every day and understand. I got my list here of you know, stuff that I got to keep up on, of course, packing material, and then the cart, which is I roll around here in the fish room. It's got all my bags, cups, supplies, the stapler, all that good stuff, and yeah, it just makes it easy to go from tank to tank to fill orders. But I think that's about it. I think that's it. I don't really have anything else to share, and we're running out of time anyway. So this video is what, close to 20 minutes, something like that. We'll see. But yeah, so that's about it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you guys later. All right, peace.